Hey everybody, it's RNC Numismatics here. This is like my 10th take at trying to make this video for y'all. The last video was like 10 minutes and I felt that was just a bit long for what I was trying to do here. So I'm going to try to talk a little faster, maybe get it done a little quicker. So today we're going to be talking about the difference between a proof Morgan and a circulation business strike Morgan. A lot of which that'll have kind of better eye appeal. You'll have the mirrored surfaces that'll make you just want to call it a proof, but it's not. And so we're going to talk about how we decide which coins are proofs and what that actually means. So I'm going to start off by saying proof does refer to the method of striking rather than just what it looks like. If you want to find out more about that, let me know. I'll make another video, or I can refer you to some great information that's already been published by a few other people. So what we have is an 1889 proof Morgan. The pictures of this coin are not mine. They belong to Heritage Auctions. The coin is now mine. It's in my collection. It is probably the highlight of my collection, but that's another topic. You can see more of this coin and the proof set that it's a part of in my NGC registry. So as we go and we go forward with this, the first thing I want to note is this is an old slab, and so what we're seeing on some of these marks, especially this one, this long one here, that covers from the stars to the M in unum, that was on the old slab. That's not on the coin. I'll try to make a note of those when we see them because they do kind of distract a little bit. Here's another one in front of the face, another group. But anyway, let's get started. So what we have are squared denticles all the way around the coin. We'll get into how you kind of see the difference between the two, between the squared and rounded. But you'll see squared denticles. You'll see a solid strike everywhere on the coin that should have detail, pretty much should have detail on a proof, unless it's an impaired proof that's been circulated, or maybe it's been damaged in some kind of way. But proofs usually have a really full strike, and they are great indicators of what the coin should look like in highest quality. You see the fields are pretty clean. Being a proof, you're not going to have a lot of circulation, you hope, but it can happen. As we go on to the reverse of the coin, if I can get it to change over, this mark here between the wing and the wreath is on the old slab. The mark in between the I and T in United, that is raised. That's a die scratch. I haven't found the right either die pairing or die state for this coin yet. I'm still working on that 3 years later. It's not been easy to find another coin that looks like it because I haven't found one yet. But anyway, if you look at the reverse, you still have the squared denticles all the way around. It's fairly easy to see that there's not a lot going on in the fields. So that's this coin. I'm going to go back to the obverse and zoom in so that we can immediately see the difference. Now this coin here, this is an ADS. It is a circulation strike, but it's a really nice looking coin. When we compare the two coins next to each other, we can kind of see the difference. We have a little bit more squaring, a little less rounding off on the denticles between the proof versus the business strike. The business strike, I would argue, has similar, if not a little bit better, eye appeal, just because of how deep the mirrors are and the cameo contrast, if you will, the proof-like of the coin. So in here you're going to have rounded denticles. You'll have maybe not as solid of a strike. If you look above the ear, you can kind of see the remnants of a really decent strike, but it's hard to tell here. You'll see a lot of times there'll be a lot more die cracks, just because the dies were used a lot longer, a lot more coins were issued with them. and so as a result you have more problems with the die. This was a fairly full strike, but you can tell that there's some problems with the coin in that regard. Just because it was a business strike, so there are some discrepancies between that and the original design would look like. Anyway, so over here we see that it's an S mint. Be sure to check and make sure that the coin that you have was minted at a mint that made proofs that year. For example, in 1889, Carson City didn't make any proofs. But you look at a year, I believe 83, San Francisco made a branch mint proof. I'll have to double check on that, but I'm pretty sure that they made one. So just make sure that it's something that's been known. If you're not sure, that's usually a good starting point. Sometimes there are new discoveries, that does happen. But thinking about just probability here, it's hard. When we look at the coin, we have just rounded denticles. We have versus the squared on a proof. Proofs don't always have that amazing mirror. Let's take a look. This is the coin at an arm's length away, the mint state coin, and it's still in this holder. I took this photo, paid way up for this coin, but it's just a coin to help show everybody what you're looking for. Here's the reverse. The reverse is clearly not as good as the obverse as an eye appeal, but it's just a really nice coin. That's why it didn't get a proof like. Obverse mirrors, you go about 30 inches before it starts to get a little fuzzy. The reverse doesn't quite have much at all. But overall, that's kind of what you need to know the difference between a proof and a business strike. It comes down to the denticles. It comes down to, has this been seen before? And that's not the definitive on the has it been seen before, but it does help. I'm going to try to crop a little bit out of this photo or this video to make it easier to watch. I'm sorry I didn't get into too much detail and I couldn't point at the screen the way I wanted to. Still working on that on my end. If you have any other questions or concerns, please let me know. I'm going to try to do some more videos here soon. Like, share, subscribe if you want to see more.